Good evening. Welcome back. Tonight we're going to do a Reiki session that is going to help deal with the effects of trauma. So if you're dealing with any anxiety, depression, racing thoughts, even physical ailments due to any sort of trauma you may be experiencing, I want to make a space for you to release those energies and start the healing process. Now, before we start the Reiki portion of the session, I want to provide a bit of a perspective. I know for me that helps a lot when I'm healing from something. And like most people, like pretty much say most, everyone at this point, we're all dealing with some sort of traumatic situation or experience in our life. And for most of us, if not all, it affects us even at this very moment. If you're watching this video, you're dealing with that and those effects. So I thought it would be a good idea. I might have to put the air conditioner to drown out the noise again because I have some neighbors who play music outside. I don't want it to interrupt or cause any issue. But I want to provide that insight or some sort of insight to help deal with, or help you, that will probably hopefully help you deal with whatever struggle that you're currently dealing with by sharing a bit of share a bit of my, my, what's the word I'm looking for? God, I can't find the right word for some of these things. When it comes to dealing with my sort of traumas and insecurities, and one of my biggest traumas is my self-image, due to a lot of bullying, as well as just rejection in general throughout my life. Crazy thing is, I was never bullied. Well, I say never. Once I was bullied by other students, but it wasn't other students for me. It was the teachers that I was being bullied by. I had struggles with the teachers. That's worse. And I also dealt with a lot of rejection as a kid. I wasn't the best looking kid in this class, and I learned that real quick. And I wasn't the most confident either. For those of you who are astrology nerds, I have Saturn in the first house in Aquarius, so it hurts a lot. It's like you're born with no self-esteem. But I was never the most confident person when I was a kid, and I didn't think I looked that great either. And so with the bullying from teachers and the rejection I faced a lot when I put myself out there towards girls I was attracted to, I went into this negative spiral of really hating myself. And for years, I had a lot of self-hatred and stuff like that. And even to this day, I deal with that, where it's like, for this channel, it's not doing what I want. It's not where I want it to be, and I'm not, numbers wise, it's just, I haven't had a good month. I lost a lot of subscribers, and for the last week or so, I've just been kicking myself like up, down, left, and right. Because it's not this is not the viewer's fault. If I'm losing that traffic, it's my fault, because I'm not creating that content that makes them want to come back. So I have to figure out a way to do that. And I know that. So me getting on like, I don't understand what's going on. It's like, no, I'm not providing something that makes them want to come back. So naturally, I'm getting the responses that I'm getting. But because I have that trauma of being bullied and being rejected, I consistently replay those moments in my life, and they add on to the already feeling of inadequacy that I'm feeling due to the situation that I'm in. And like with all the transitioning going in my life, with like I'm moving, by the way, in the next 2 weeks, so this will not be the setup. In like August is going to be a completely different setup. But I'm moving because I gotta cut down on costs because things are getting dark, and I'm kicking my butt on that because I'm like I should have been in a better financial position at 30, and now I'm going to have to start all over again, and I am kicking my butt left and right, and it's all stemming from that trauma that I dealt with, ever since I was a kid. And the best way I deal with that is I try to look at things I try to remember that there are certain things in this world that are outside my control. And trust me when I say I'm always trying to find a backup plan after a backup plan after a backup plan. And that's all I've been doing, and it's just felt like things have just fallen through over and over and over. And instead of just kind of going with the sometimes, man, these things happen, you just gotta keep going. I I beat me up. And so, for those of you who are dealing with that, what I'm learning through this process is sometimes, man, the perfect storm is going to hit, and you can have everything prepared. You can have everything protected so that way you don't get hit. And sometimes it's just going to hit you no matter what you do. The key to healing this is taking some of that off of you, taking some of that blame off of you, and understanding that life is gonna life. You just gotta keep going, and when you keep going, it'll either figure itself out or you'll figure it out. We'll start the Reiki portion in a minute, but I just want to say one thing before we get started. I was on Twitter. I stay on Twitter, and I saw this post. They were like, men will go through loss of job, debt, um, car repossession, all this stuff, and then you ask them, what are they gonna do? And they're like, we'll figure it out. And it's like, well, because that's life, Life is full of ebbs and flows. So when you're going down, you're eventually gonna have to come back up. And so you either are gonna figure it out or it's gonna figure itself out. And so the best thing you can do is give yourself that time and space to process what you need to process so that way you can figure it out. And if you're dealing with stuff from the past that are coming up, these thoughts are coming up, allow yourself the space to deal with that. Because that's how you're going to heal from it. You're not going to heal from avoiding it. You're not going to heal from just listening to like a frequency and it's going to go away. You're going to heal from actually looking at what's causing it, even if it's scary, and just saying, hey man, this isn't my fault. I can only be in control of what I'm in control over, and that's yourself. Life happens. But if I can just find a way to say, hey, listen, how can I use this constructively? How can I do something to where I can look at it from a perspective of, you know, it's not, there's only so much I can control. There's so much I can do. When you start to take that pressure off yourself, the healing process goes a lot faster. And that's from my experience. I can't speak for everyone's experience. So if you're going through something a lot worse than what I'm going through, then my heart goes out to you. But just know it's going to get better. It will get better. Just give it time. Either it'll figure itself out or you're going to figure it out. So anyways, let's proceed with the Reiki portion. I'm going to cut the air back on because it'll drown out the noise going on outside. And the only reason why I didn't cut it on now is because I'm speaking, and that shouldn't been too much of a distraction. Hopefully, my speaking wasn't too much of a distraction. But like I said, when it comes to trauma, just figure out, look deep within yourself, and figure out what started it, or um, what triggers it, and figure out why it triggers it. And when you see what triggers it, just understand that you're not the one at fault for this. There's too many factors in life that take place, and you can't control everything. So once you relinquish that feeling of guilt that it's your fault, or you're the one that you're the blame for this, once you start to understand that, there's so many things you don't have control over, the healing can take place because that pressure's off. Um, so let's begin the Reiki portion so that way you can get some sleep, and that way the healing can take place a lot easier, okay? All right. All right. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sage you a bit. And after that, I'm going to do some plucking and use the scissors with the cleanse. And then I'm going to send you some healing Reiki energy, and you should be good for the night. I don't want to keep you too long. Just allow yourself that space, man. Allow yourself that permission. Allow yourself that release. Because if you carry that, and that guilt, that blame, you carry that weight, you're not gonna be able to heal from it. You're not gonna be able to recover from it. It's only gonna get worse. And we don't want that to be the case. I need you to take a deep breath in for me. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out. Good. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. One more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Life is hard, guys. Life isn't easy. Like, don't kick your butt. Don't kick your own butt. Life will do that for you. Trust me. If anything, we have to start learning to be kind to ourselves, kinder to ourselves, because life will find a way to kick our butts for us, so we don't have to do it, But when you get, I know for me, when I get triggered, like, the first person I attack is me, because it's my fault that I put myself in that situation. It's my fault that I didn't see the signs. It's my fault that I didn't see this. And so sometimes, man, you don't know. And when we go through these situations in life where we get stung, or, an unfavorable outcome, we learn something from it, and it allows us to become better. And as we get older, our brains are able to process that a lot better. When we're young, we can't do that. And so that's why time is so important. And sometimes in certain situations, if you need someone to talk to, like a professional, like a therapist, please seek out that help. Because sometimes we need that extra voice to provide that perspective that we just can't get because we're in that loop. So that's why it's good to have that. If you can afford a therapist, have a therapist to talk to and get that out, because they can provide a solution that you may not even see, or at least allow you to get whatever you need off your chest. And once that's all cleared out, usually that's when the solution comes through. Usually that's when the epiphany comes through, once you release. At least for me. Like, I remember when I haven't been in therapy for a while. I need to go back into it, but I just haven't been able to afford it. Um, I usually would always talk about what was bothering me, and the therapist would always provide a better way of looking at things. And that perspective shift, um, that perspective shift is everything because it allows you to process what you're dealing with a lot easier as opposed to believing you're the sole reason why it happened. So, but if you can afford a therapist, or you can afford, or you have someone that you can talk to that can offer you that perspective shift, speak to that person. And I mean a healthy perspective shift. Don't speak to someone that's telling you delusion. Like, don't feed your trauma delusion. That's not going to help you. Be real, but also get as many perspectives. What how get get whatever perspective you need that will help you create that shift in thinking, in the way of you seeing things that allows that healing process to take place. Okay. Because if you sit with that too long, a lot of things in your life will be stagnant, and you don't want that. So if you are dealing with trauma, allow yourself that space to relax and replenish. Seek out different perspectives to help understand the situation from a different side, a different, I don't want to say perspective again, that's lazy, from a different angle. And that'll allow you to process that pain, that trauma a lot easier. So that way you can move forward and not be in a consistent cycle. And that's what I'm doing. Sometimes you gotta go within. And sometimes you have to seek counsel from without. If you can't figure out the answers within, then seek counsel, healthy counsel, from without. Alright, let's start sending you some sigils. Alright. Use the feather a few more times. You should be good to go. Alrighty. Well, that's it for tonight. I hope I was able to help. If I did, please like, share, subscribe. And hope I see you again in the next video. Have a good night. Take care.